What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show is Can You Change Your Karma? And being a medical doctor, now Access Consciousness Facilitator, Akashic Record teacher, and founder of the School of Akashic Records, I kind of like before in my life, I'm not sure I kind of believed in karma, but eventually I learned that karma exists. So, how much do you think your life is controlled by your karma? What if the relationship are part of your karma? What if your job is part of your karma? Oh, wait, it is. Yeah. What if you could erase and change your past? Would you do it? Let's play with that. And I've been facilitating classes around the world in Akashic Records and Access Consciousness, and that actually showed me how much our life is actually dependent on the karma if we choose to, or we can free ourselves by using the tools of either access consciousness or Akashic Records or both. I know with my life, the relationships that I had definitely were karmic and not in a good way. Because you always think of relationship being kind of like your soulmate and wonderful. You've been together many lifetimes. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure with both my husbands, I've been many lifetimes. In some lifetimes, they killed me. In some lifetimes, I killed them. In some lifetimes, we were married. In some lifetimes, we were on the opposite side of the war. So, where does all of this come? We talk about immortal soul. And the mortal soul kind of goes from lifetime to lifetime, collects experience, collects debt, collects contracts, collects promises. And then comes now. You're living in your body right now, but the soul, the immortal soul, the being, it's been infinite and it's been around the block quite a bit. So, how do we change some unfinished business? Because karma is nothing more than unfinished business. Let's say you've been tortured by somebody, and while you've been tortured, you promised them, I'll come back and I'll kill you. Or you've been married to somebody and you promised, like in the marriage vows, you always promise to cherish, to love, to obey, to whatever it is, till death do us part. Guess what? The being, the soul never dies. It just changes the body. And so your oath to cherish, to love, till do death do us part is still valid because you didn't die. Just the body died, but you didn't. Your consciousness didn't. So do you think how many wives, husbands, because we actually changed being a man, being a woman. I'm not sure about animals though, possibly, but at least man and woman kind of alternating different culture, different continent, different religions. We've done all of that. And now what? So today we'll be talking more about like using Akashic Records tools, maybe, or maybe access tools. We'll see. Uh, Akashic Record tools are more prayers and grace points. So let's say you have an issue with your boss. she or he doesn't like you and pushes your buttons. Maybe in the other lifetime, something happened between you two. Might have been lovers. Maybe you betrayed each other. Maybe you've killed each other. Maybe you've tortured each other. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Think of somebody that you have a difficult relationship with. And let's do a prayer of forgiveness. And forgiveness, and I talk a lot in my shows about forgiveness. Forgiveness has nothing to do with being a doormat. I forgive you so you can do it over again. Or I ask forgiveness and I can do it, whatever I did again. No. Prayers are amazing tools to clear and release blocks and limitation. They offer comfort and ease. So, with forgiveness, it allows to shift and move things in our body, in our being, by letting go of that energy that's stuck there. Because we're all energy. There is nothing solid about our body. There is nothing solid, um, anything in this world. If you look under the microscope, anything, especially electron microscope, which magnifies like a million times, all you see just space and atoms, like planets. Atoms, like pretty much the universe is microcosmos. Think of it this way. But more than that, uh, like people know that electron can be a wavelength or a particle, depending on if you're observing it. And same with the nucleus, it's not solid anymore. Like people thought it was solid. Then they found out there are neutrons and there are positrons, and then they found out that they are actually broken down by much smaller particles, and those particles actually energy waves that kind of behave depending on who is observing it and who is looking at them, pretty much consciousness. So consciousness is the one that permeates everything. And it's not somewhere outside, it's inside. Our being, our consciousness is part of the universal consciousness, the oneness. And with that, we're kind of like a drop in the ocean, but we can modify it and change on subatomic level using energy vibration. The vibration is usually words, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We've done it before. If you think you've never used energy, think again. Because all your fears, all your anger, all your shame and blame, all those emotions that you have created your life. All those judgments you have of your body created your body. Like if you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you say, oh my God, I have wrinkles, I have a zit, I have whatever, you pay your attention to something that puts energy and intention into that. So when you do that, you create more of this. So if you saw a wrinkle and you judged, you have more wrinkles. Your body will respond to that because body has a consciousness of its own. Because we're space between them. Let's face it, it's pretty much the energy underneath all of that. Some people call it Higgs particles, which is energy that moves through space and creates matter. Basically, that's how the world was created. Consciousness moving in the Big Bang, and voila, we have our universe, multiverse as we know it now. And all of it is actually recorded in the Akashic field, which is etheric field. Some people call it field of infinite possibilities. Some people call it multiverse. Some people call it whatever. Some people call the Akashic Records a library. It's much more than a library. It's multiverse of energetic recordings. So, and We access it constantly in the dreams, we access it in meditation. And there is a way, or like in certain modality, they teach you how to access it. The way I learn it through the prayers, and there are different prayers. A lot of times people get their own prayer, how to enter, and all of it. Don't get stuck on the prayer word, like the word prayer. This is just a vibrational frequency and intention of getting there. And same with healing prayers. It's just a vibrational frequency. You can call it words, you can call it sentences that help you clear if you have problem with the prayer. If let's say you have problem, because that's not about religion, because it's pretty much one of the jokes is, what do you call when you talk to God? Prayer. What do you call when God answers you? Insanity. And yeah, it's kind of like that because you do hear God or universe, or you can call it whatever, like consciousness. You do hear it, but it's whispers and it's energetic. So a lot of times we don't get it. So when we use the prayers, we actually unlock a lot of limitation and blocks so we can actually hear that whispers of consciousness, our own whispers. Because Akashic field is not outside of us, it's inside, it's awareness through the heart. That's as simple as to explain it. And um, one of the ways we deal with that, like changing stuff in the Akashic field, is with the prayers or grace points. We look at something, we see, okay, this is blocked, what's required to kind of like change it, and you get an awareness of the prayer. And we learn that in the classes. Of course, they are called Akashic Records, basics of Akashic Records, advanced Akashic Records, and so on and so forth. And it's time for our first break of the show. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is choice or necessity. Oh, sorry, that's next week. I was looking at something else. Uh, it's next week we are going to have a choice or necessity, and we'll be talking about how it's different. But today our show is, can you change your karma? And with that, we started talking a little bit about the prayers and forgiveness. Because when we are stuck in our ways, when we are stuck with what you call it, the blocks, the limitations of karma, when the karma, it's unmovable, it's solid, you have to finish your karma pretty much. That's a kind of like a life sentence in a way. Because if you hurt somebody, it kind of comes back. It's all of that. But what if it's much easier way? Instead of going through the karma and paying your dues and going through all that rigmarole, what if you could just let it go? Because how relevant is that hurt from 500 years ago? It's already gone and done with. And you're still angry with that person. Really? Doesn't make any sense. So, what if you just took that as an example, even if that happened yesterday? Because yesterday is gone. Even if somebody offended you a week ago or 5 minutes ago, what if it's just a choice just to let it go? And that's actually we'll be talking about next week, choice and necessity. But with forgiveness, I love it. I love the prayer because it has three parts. It allows us to let go what we've done, what was done to us, and especially because the most pain that we've created is by hurting ourselves. And you know it, and I know it. And it's also not about forgiving and forgetting, it's about allowing forgiveness of the universe to flow through us. So let's kind of like close your eyes, relax, drop your barriers. And I'm going to read the prayer, and you just see if there is any change in your body, any lightness or heaviness. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, and heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I don't know about you, but I feel a little lighter. And what if it's that simple? What if you can just let go of a lot of karma, but just forgiving or allowing the forgiveness to go through you? What if it's that simple that you can change? Because let's face it, when you have somebody that offended you in any way, hurt you in any way, you constantly think about that person. You constantly kind of like playing in your mind the conversation you had and how you should have said something and how he or she would respond. And then you create more and more. And a lot of times it's like a snowball. It gets bigger with time instead of smaller. Um, People say, oh, time cures it all. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it gets easier with time, sometimes it's not. I know I've had both ways. I've had it gets easier, gets worse, especially if I am playing those records in my mind. With a prayer, it changes the vibration. So it erases some of that to the point that sometimes you might not even remember that that person hurt you. Because I've had examples where somebody come up to me and said, "I'm so sorry I did that to you." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And there was one woman specifically, I remember she yelled at me and I got upset and I did the forgiveness prayer. And then I saw her, she was like looking at me, kind of squirming. And because she remembered the hurt, I didn't. And I kind of hugged her and how are you? And then I remembered, oh, wait, that was the woman that kind of like yelled at me and called me names. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Didn't have any feelings about that. It was like so freeing because come on, it happened like 10 years before. And it's like, how relevant is it to my life right now? Not at all. Because a lot of things that we carry with us is just that, a baggage. Um, Last week we were talking about kind of like holding on to things, holding on to memories, holding on to the pain. That's pretty much it. But not only from this lifetime. Think of your house and cluttering and all that hoarding. If you're not a hoarder, I really, really am jealous. But I have stuff from my daughter's like kindergarten, her drawings, and I can't throw them away because they're so precious. And eventually I might, or take a picture of them and kind of like hold on to the digital and be a hoarder of the digital things. And but we also hoarding our memories from 10,000 years ago, a million years. It's all written on our DNA and RNA. We're not even aware of that, but it's there. That's the baggage I'm talking about. Would you like to get rid of that? Or would you like to play right now with the things that is happened like yesterday or a month ago? Doesn't matter. Whatever your intention is, just bring it up. Think of somebody that you have kind of like either strong connection, like anger, or strong love, or you think it's love. And let's do the forgiveness prayer. Because even with people that we love, there are always things that kind of like we hurt them, they hurt us, something said, something communication was lost, or something was done, all of that. Just think of that person, put them in front of you, and let's do it together. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to anyone or anything consciously or unconsciously in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything consciously or unconsciously in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. Whew, I feel better. I don't know about you, but this show is about me actually, not so much because when I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself because it's about shifting and changing ourselves. Whenever I talk about the tools, it's another reminder for me to use them. It's another reminder to shift and change. And I'm actually doing clearing uh, with Rachel Silver every day right now. And it was supposed to be 30 days out of control, but we've been doing it. I think today is day 64 of 30 days. And by the way, with the prayer, it's the same thing. You can use them like 10 times in the morning, 10 times at night uh, for 30 days and see what happens. Don't believe me, just see if it changes anything in your life. And you can find that prayer. I think we posted it. It's in my email. And of course, if you take a class, you will find it. Also, I have a Facebook group that you can join, Basics of Akashic Records. So there are a lot of announcements about Akashic Records classes, and I just finished Basics of Akashic Records this week. And there would be another one coming, of course. So if you're curious, just email me, contact me, and we can talk and play, and I'll explain more about that. I do facilitate classes around the world, changing people's lives. I do private sessions. So it's just whatever shifts and change. And yeah, I do have a question. It's about kind of like you can find the clearings in the group Being You Without Hiding. And it's a public group you can always join in with Rachel and I are doing lives there. We're doing a lot of education, a lot of changes, and just playing in that group. Or on my page, Creating Abundance with Ease, I do share those there too. So, oh, time flies. It's time for our, I guess, second break of the show. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on the Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time. This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich. I'm Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is, can you change your karma? And yes, I kind of like blew it last break, kind of like talking about next week's show instead of this week's show. And what's interesting, it's actually time is irrelevant, especially with karma. Because when you're in Akashic field, There is no time. Time is a construct, total invention, because past, present, and future are actually occurring simultaneously, energetically. And people look at me when I talk about it. It's like, what? Physicists actually proven that. Quantum mechanics proven. Einstein proved it. Because there is so much we have no idea. And every choice that we make karmically, it changes our trajectory. Like anytime when we clear our karma, it changes our future. More than that, I'm just going to totally screw up your mind because sometimes the karmic contract not in the past, but in the future. And I've seen it over and over again because it's not just only changing the past, we're changing our future. We're by changing our future, we can change our present and our past. That's mind-boggling. It's seriously, when I first started, and I've been doing that called work, but to me it's play, to the point when people ask me, what do I do? I'm like, I don't work. I retired because I am retired from medical field. I just can't work anymore. As a doctor, by many reasons, ethical, emotional, physical, you name it, traditional medicine no longer draws me. Alternative medicine is different, but um, like Akashic Records, like teaching people how to heal themselves. Because with karma, because there are karmic diseases, and I know I'm jumping all over the place. I just realized because I'm ADHD, and like I go in different direct. My mind is like in all directions. Karmic, possibly, or just me being me. I actually just came back from advanced body class, and Gary, founder of Access, kind of facilitated me and said, "You're still pretending to be normal. You are not," which is true. I'm not normal. And it was so freeing to finally recognize that. And it's like, okay, so I'm not normal. Yeah. Normal people usually don't do Akashic Records. Normal people, or at least not to the same extent I do it. And because it's about choosing more. And there is no normal. I don't know anybody who is normal, but we try to pretend normal. And that's what actually limits us. Because part of the karmic limitations or blocks is trying being normal, because none of us are. We are much bigger, much better, much stronger, much smarter, much more beautiful than we think. But we try to suppress our inclinations, our greatness by using our karma as an excuse. Because if we have karma, then we cannot do something because we have to be punished. We cannot be something because, oh, no, 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 we've been there, done it. That ends bad because somebody killed us and we cannot do it again. Now it's different. Now it's totally different. It's different time, different place, different people. Again, is it relevant? Is it something that you still carry the guilt about? And it wasn't even real. Somebody told you a lie, and you still behave in that way, limiting yourself. Let's do it again. Let's do a forgiveness prayer and see if anything shifts in your universe, and you might choose something different next time. Because I know with me, when I do forgiveness prayer, a lot of times I look at things differently the next day. So here it goes. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. It's just see how it is. Like for me, it cleans out like a little bit at a time or a lot at a time, depending on where I am, what I'm doing, and where that prayer hits, because there are layers. And a lot of times I would clear the air, like clear, I cannot talk. It's been interesting. So it's about kind of like clearing that layer, and then something underneath that is still there. And you're not even aware it's there. You're just looking at that. It's like, oh, I don't feel good, or I still don't like that person. And then the next time you say that prayer, it clears another layer and another layer. I know with quite a few people, life has changed because of that prayer. I know with one woman, she hasn't talked to her stepdaughter, or the stepdaughter never talked to her or her father for I think about 6 or 7 years. We're not talking about days, we're talking about years. And we did forgiveness work, um, just one session. But yes, she was coming regularly and we were clearing some other stuff. I'm not sure if it was just the last drop that kind of changed things, because sometimes that's what it takes. Or it was just that shifted things. But within 2 weeks, her stepdaughter called and started coming and seeing her dad and seeing stepmom and talking to them and having a relationship with them. And when she asked what happened, she's like, I just had the urge to talk to you guys. I missed you. And that was after 5 or 6 years out of nowhere. My guess is that the forgiveness works. Forgiveness, and it has nothing to do with actually, oh, I forgive you, or I'll make a decision to forgive that person. That doesn't work. Because no matter how many times I say, I forgive you, or yeah, I'll try to forgive, and it didn't work. It was just pretty much just like when I was forcing it, it was more about force. I would suppress my own feelings when I would do that. And it created almost like subconscious state where I would hold on to the hurt. I wouldn't show that I was hurt. So I was pretending that I wasn't hurt while I was still feeling anger. And a lot of times it would kind of like come out sideways. I would say something sarcastic, or I would do something in spite, and that wasn't good for the relationship. So a lot of things in the relationship, it's not just like bad relationship because the other person was bad. No, it was just the fighting between two. Maybe because we killed each other or tortured each other and continue torturing this lifetime based on that 200 years ago curse or promise or whatever it was. And a lot of times, just doing the forgiveness, it allows us to move past that, allows us to erase karma. And when we do, some lifetimes just disappear, or they don't have the charge on it. Because a lot of times what you see in Akashic Records are infinite possibility of past, present, and future. So every decision you made created a different path. Every choice you made created a different path. Any feelings you had changes things. Any emotion changes things. Thoughts. Because you have, let's say, multiple thoughts in your brain, and you pick one to think about. And it's probably not even yours, but you pick only one. So that solidifies that path a little bit more, where you choose to go that way. So now you have less possibilities or more possibilities based on that thought alone. And then you choose based on that thought. So when you look at Akashic Records, it's pretty much like a blueprint. There are possibilities of this and this and this and this. That's the difference between Akashic Records work versus psychic reading. Because with psychic reading, they operate on things that's already solidified, that's already moved into psychic realm. And that's usually one or two possibilities of the future, because you already made that choice. But you can still change it by changing something different. In Akashic field, you can see all possibilities of past, present, and future. And which one would you choose? You say, oh my God, how do I navigate? You just look at that and you ask questions and you use prayers and you use grace point, and that allows you more clarity with that. It's about literally looking at what would you like to create in there. And a lot of times you don't even ask questions, because the energy there is oneness and healing. So you might just go into the record just for that energy, just to calm yourself down. A lot of times in the past, especially when I was working as a physician, because I started Akashic Records 4 years before I quit. And a lot of times coming home from work, I was stressed. I was kind of like angry. I was blah, 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 picking up, although now I know I was picking up emotions of other people. At that time, I had no idea. I actually did know, because there was a prayer of outside influence. But I wasn't that much. I wasn't doing Akashic Records to that much extent. But all I would do, just open the records and just sit there for 15 minutes. And that was like, almost, not almost, but it was so peaceful. It was kind of a meditation, because going to Akashic Records is conscious meditation. And I just been reminded that it's time for our third and final break of the show. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. And I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is, can you change your karma? And the answer is, of course, yes. And we talk about, more and more people are talking about that you can change your karma, you can shift and change a lot of modalities too. Um, with Akashic Records, you use prayers and meditation and grace points. With access consciousness, you use clearing statement. You let go of your immortal soul. You um, kind of like looking at possibilities. You're using bars, body processes, and symphony energy. So each modality has its own kind of set of tools. Reiki uses energy, and by changing the body, we're also changing our karma, because a lot of karma has been solidified in the body. Wow, I couldn't think the word. Because as I said, karma is written on DNA and RNA. It changes things. When we get angry, when we have certain thoughts, feelings, and emotions, it creates patterns that energetically imprints on the body, locks it into the cells, and also alters DNA and RNA. It um, it changes things to the point where our behavior is also influenced by karmic connections, our thoughts patterns, our illnesses. Like I started in the beginning talking, you see kids getting cancer, you see young adults dying from heart disease or from cancer or from something else. How can they create it so early? A lot of it is karmic. They already came into this life kind of choosing it. And the soul, the being, knows it chooses the life path. It chooses certain people to be around, and we kind of travel together through time and space with the same people. It's a lot of people that we travel with, but it's still the same people. Did you notice that you meet kind of like people and there is a recognition there? You're connected to them. Majority of it from past lives. Majority of it is a good connection, bad connection, but that's all a judgment. It's what past was. What if you didn't care what your past was? What would be your connection with that person? What if by clearing the connection, you wouldn't have any relationship anymore? And that sometimes happens. I've seen when people come in to clear their relationship, and I tell them, if there is something underneath other than karmic connection, it will improve, or it will change, definitely will change. And if there is nothing, just the karmic kind of like paying the debt or trying to hurt each other, and sometimes it happens, those couples usually, that relationship is gone, because there is nothing, there is no love there. It's just the karma that they are playing over and over again. It's a repeating pattern, that wheels of samsara, that samskara, that pain cycle. And wouldn't you would like to know that if you are in a relationship, that if there is actually something that connects you like love, or is it just past hurt and karma and contracts that holds that person with you? Would you like to create something beautiful and beyond this reality, with energy of love and gratitude and appreciation for each other and honoring each other? Or would you like to kind of like keep yourself suffering through like torturing each other just because you tortured each other 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago? I don't know. I would choose probably to know. And our show is coming to the end. I just wanted to remind people that I do facilitate classes other than being a radio host and TV host. I keep forgetting that it is a TV show as well. You can watch it on Binge TV. You can find out about the classes on Access Consciousness website or on www.creatingabundancewithease.com. And you can sign up for my newsletter that's monthly with all the information, a blog that kind of like uses the tools of the month. And this week, we are using forgiveness prayer as a tool of the month. So it will be in the show. You can read it as many times as you like. Recommendation is at least 9 times, morning and night. But as I said, you can read it anytime. Whenever you get upset, you can read it. Whenever you're happy, you can read it. Because it's about forgiving and not so much forgetting, but letting go of that poison that you've been taking all those years, thousands of years, millions of years. And if you would like to join us with Daily Clearing with Rachel Silber and me, Getting Out of Control, you can join us in Facebook group, Being You Without Hiding. You can also join us for Global Foundation. I'll be doing a live, what's called Party of Possibilities, where people get together and we'll watch Global Foundation from Puerto Vallarta. And I will be doing some facilitation at the same time, and it will be live. And we'll be doing bars and body processes, and you can find out more on accessconsciousness.com. All you need to do is sign up for that and let me know with your name and email if you're coming at least 5 to 7 days before. Or actually, after the show, if you choose it, let me know and we'll try to arrange it. Also, Global Facelift, same rules apply, which is the next day after Foundation, May 4th. And multiple body classes in Taiwan, England, and Israel as soon as the borders will open. We're just waiting on, as soon as they let the foreigners in, the classes on. So grateful for everyone that's listening now and will be listening in the future, or watching me now and will be watching in the future. This is about changing your past and changing your future and creating a different life for you. Creating more ease, more joy, more glory. And that's from Access Consciousness mantra that was created by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Hare. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. And you can use that as well. And you can find out more about that also on the website and on Facebook group in Being You Without Hiding, Facebook page, Creating Abundance with Ease. It's all over the place. And as I said, I'm grateful. And the more you shift and change those limitations and do the forgiveness, the more you will raise your vibration, because any energy of thoughts, feelings, and emotion of anger, shame, blame, regret, they all so low vibrationally that it keeps you down. And I'll see you next week. Again, next week we'll be talking about choice or necessity. And join me. I will be happy to talk to you, and maybe even you can choose to be in a live audience. Bye-bye now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.